Hello, class. So at this point in the course, most of you, hopefully all of you, have done your speech topic approval. So I'll say a few things about that before we get to the stuff for this week's module. So now that you've done your speech topic approval, you have given 3 speech topics, and you've given the reason why you chose each one of those topics, and also 3 reasons or 3 main points for that. So something I've said earlier is that we're going to be building up your informative speech brick by brick. So now that you have your topic, and hopefully you've got some good main points to support that topic, we're going to move on to actually crafting the introduction of your speech. So that's the main thing that I want to talk about in this particular module. So we've done the speech topic approval, and I'm going to go down to the assignment where it says informative speech introduction and source citation analysis. So in this part of the module for this assignment, you'll be doing the introduction for your speech, and you'll also have picked out your sources for your speech. So this doesn't mean that you have to do the entire speech. This just means just the introduction. Okay, so you get your introduction, you've got some sources. So I'm going to go over a lot of these portions of it to make it not seem so daunting of a task. So when you click here, and I'm not going to click here, I've already got the tabs open just for the sake of time. So when you click here, you'll see your assignment, and right here, this will have the file or the document that you're going to be using to complete this assignment. So once you've opened it up, it'll look something like this. So this is a skimmed down version of your introduction, so kind of like an outline version. And as you go further down, you will see about your source citations. So and this is where you will list the sources that you have for your speech. So let's go through this. So for name, you'll have your name, the title, whatever the title of your speech is. The general purpose in this instance is just to inform. Okay, so if it was your introduction speech, it'd be introduction. At one point in the course, there were persuasive speeches, so it'd be to persuade. Okay, your specific purpose statement, it would be something like whatever the I want people to know the dangers of social media for children under the age of 12, maybe something like that. Okay, so where was I? Oh, so your thesis statement, basically letting them know whatever it is you want to talk about, and you may also put in, okay, I will let people know about this, and I will do this by talking about 1, 2, and 3, whatever those things are. Okay, so when you're actually doing your speech, though, when you're saying hello and trying to warm us up to your topic, this is what you're going to be doing. Okay, this right here is just kind of like practice to make sure that you've got it down. So sometimes you're going to be writing something down twice for this assignment, just so it's very clear that, hey, this person knows what their statement is, what their purpose is. So it's very clear and obvious, and it's not buried underneath, I don't know, a lot of words or maybe some sloppy handwriting or something like that. So going to the first part, your introduction, you'll have your attention getter. So that may be maybe some quote from somebody who's well known in a particular field. It may be maybe you have a picture of something that conveys whatever it is you want to talk about. Whatever it is to kind of like just break through of not saying I'm going to be talking about this, but hey, maybe I've got a picture of it, maybe I've got a sound of it, maybe I can show you the harmful effects of this particular thing, or maybe there's some type of statistic that will reach you. So using your attention getter, you have something like that. So your specific purpose statement, again, what are you actually talking about? Your credibility statement. So Um, this is kind of answering the question, why should we listen to you? Okay, so if you have personal experience with something, like, okay, I've worked as an EMT for 15 years, and that's why I can tell you about, I don't know, seat belts or CPR or something, okay, then you can have that. Now, if this is something that maybe you're studying in school, or maybe something that you just studied and followed in your own personal time, you can still state that, and that would help you establish your credibility. The reason why you want to establish your credibility is because when people know that you're what you're talking about, then they're going to be more willing to listen to you. So, your need statement. So think about, is there a way that this can affect my audience? So even if you're talking about the effect of something on 12-year-olds, well, maybe you have kids that are about that age, or nieces or nephews, or siblings, that you wouldn't want this particular statistic or whatever to, for them to fall within that. So, and near the end of your introduction, you are talking about, okay, I'm going to talk about the what did I say? The harmful effects of social media in children under 12. And my preview of main point would be, and I will, do this by talking about, I don't know, filters and content and something else. Okay, so that'd be your preview of your main points, and that kind of transitions into the body of your speech, and you stop there. Okay, so let's move on to the sources. And don't worry if you didn't get all of this just right now. I'm saying it. I've also got some examples that I'll get to after this, but I'm going to talk you through it, and then I'll show you the examples so you can go back to either one of the things, and hopefully, get the hang of it. So the reason why it's important to, we're talking about orally citing sources, is because in your speech you will be citing your sources as they come up. So if maybe in your main point 2, according to the such and such association, this helps with blah blah blah. Okay, so you will be citing those naturally as that information comes up in your speech. Also, something that people have often had problems with citing sources is that they just may say a study shows, and they don't tell who, when, where, any of that. But a study shows that this happens to X amount of people. So that's not a good way of orally citing your source. So here are some examples of how to orally cite your source. So you want to be in the green area. Okay, so moving a little bit further down, your source 1, whatever you use for that source. Now let's you don't have to worry about it being in the right format or anything if you're filling out this part. But when we get to the APA citation, that's something you're going to want to work a little bit harder on. So don't be scared, because it's a certain type of citation. So let me just break it down for you, and I've got some other videos and stuff that we'll get to in just a moment. But it is the author, it is the date, it is the then listing the title of the article, then the name of the publication, and then is basically the web link if you're using an internet source, so the URL. So if you can put those things down, then you are more than halfway there to be able to do APA citation. Also, something I want to say is that if you don't have it perfectly right, if you've got a comma or something in the wrong place, then don't worry about it. I'm not going to be like, okay, well, that's like a 10% deduction of your grade, because I can tell if you're trying, and so no, I'm not going to be really strict on that. Also, moving further down to where it says oral citation. So I want you to practice what you're going to say when you cite this source. So this may seem very basic, but if you have it there, then you'll most likely state it the correct way. Because like I said, don't want to just be someone who's saying, according to a study, this happens to such and such. According to who? So we want to know, according to the June article of Mental Health Monthly, something like that, according June article, Mental Health Monthly, then say whatever it is that you want us to know. So why is this source credible? If you are using some type of government website or some type of independently funded group that has this information, then yes, this group is credible. They've been doing it for however many years. They've got doctors and scholars and all other types of people working for them. And also the main argument of that article, what was the whole point of whatever it is that they were saying. So it can be one or two sentences, okay? And the examples that I'm going to show you in a few minutes, it's going to look longer, more complicated than that. Don't get intimidated by that. So once you've done that, then you have done your citation for one one source. Okay. So this is a filled-in example of the same thing that we talked about. So if you want to go look at this, that's fine, okay? Don't want you to get too intimidated by the reason why I want to talk to you about it first before you see this, because then I don't want you getting all intimidated by commas and semicolons and hyperlinks and whatever, okay? So, and that is located, I put that right underneath the assignment. So underneath the informative speech introduction, source citation analysis, I've got you an example of that, okay? Gonna move on to, if you need this, some examples of how to orally cite sources. So that's just if you want some more of that. I'm not gonna play it right now, but if you don't think you have it, these are some good resources for you. And lastly, underneath that, APA citation resources. So this is just one video, but it breaks it down pretty easily. One of the things that I was talking about, like saying, the author, date, the title of the article, and wherever the publication or internet site, having that there. It goes through it, makes it pretty easy. So that's a good source for you. Almost done. So there were two other things that I wanted to say. And this is, we're steadily building up. So after you get done with this, then you'll have your informative speech, and it'll say round 1. So I believe that module is available for you to look at, and that is you're going to be doing the speech more than once, but after the first time I give you feedback and some adjustments that you can make, and then you do it again. So don't worry about the doing it again part right now. I'm just trying to give you a little glimpse of what's coming up. So in the near future, we'll be doing you'll be submitting your slides, you'll be submitting outlines, and of course you'll be eventually giving me all that bundled together and giving me your speech. Okay. One of the things that I did not include in the module for this week, because I didn't want to overload you, but if you're interested in this, because we've talked about outlines, and right now we've just gone over the introduction. Now, if you want a little bit more information on the introduction or just where this is all going, so near the top of the modules, we've got a speech and in the speech and recording resources. Go down to let's see, formatting guide to informative outline. All right, so let's see how quickly that'll pop up. Okay. So this is just a more written out version with a little bit more explanation of the instead of just the introduction. This also goes through the body of the speech and the conclusion. But if you want some more words, and the stuff in red is just examples of what you may want to what you may want to say. So if you want some more information on putting together an outline, this is a great place to go. So So that's it for this week's breakdown. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or send me a message via Remind or the class messaging app resource. So anyway, you guys take care.